How to have ultimate freedom. Isn't that what we all want? How to have ultimate freedom is our topic today. We have SAS combat veteran and speaker with us, Robert Kilsby. We have just been doing a photo shoot together. And can you believe we did a photo shoot 19 years ago for Robert's mountain road racing? So here to learn a little bit more what this extraordinary man does, here is Robert. Hey, Robert.
Hi friends, how you going? Hi Audrin. Robert Kilsby, SAS combat veteran and speaker. So we like the idea of helping people who want to be in charge of themselves. So that's the ultimate freedom. And there's five fundamental principles to that which I've learned over my life. The first one is choices. Life's full of choices. The second is take full ownership of your own actions and the responsibility for their consequences. And the third, of course, is compartment and combine your goals for your ultimate freedom and match them with the patience needed to require them. The next one is awareness. But you've got to be aware of yourself and others around you, your environment, your social environment, all of those things. Otherwise, you don't know where you're going to set your sails for. And finally, commitment. You've got to be committed to this stuff. It takes a long time for most people. Some people learn it early, but they're the rarity. But it is a fantastic journey because you're going to end up with ultimate freedom and
Amazing. And tell us about your SAS work you've done in the background. What's your history there?
Well, I was a professional soldier, just about all the time in special operations, an SAS veteran in Vietnam War, um, and spent most of my time in 22 years career as in special operations. And my
Wow.
specialties were a number, and I had a fairly unique career in that regard. And since then, in the second battlefield, I've been crisis management practitioner around the world with business teams and all sorts of escapades for that, and also done a number of jobs, small business and so on. These also the other thing I'm the chief principal for mountain road racing, which we run a program called Veterans in Motorsport Australia, which helps our younger veterans recover from their psychological, physical, and transitional issues, from all the observations we've had in the Middle East and so on. So it's a good thing to do for the veterans, and I'm still in service.
Amazing. I bet you've seen some extraordinary things in that time. Is there anything that really stands out for you from the time, or some of the biggest learnings you've had from your time as a SAS veteran?
Well, I think the main thing is that is when you're in the regiment there and when you're in that sort of group, you're surrounded by like-minded people, and they're very positive. And even if you may not sort of get on particularly well with someone, the team is the issue. So it's teamwork, it's collaboration, and everyone understands each other, and we're all cross-trained to do each other's jobs. So it's a marvelous thing. And the top businesses that I've found in civilian life sort of try and do the same thing, which is very advantageous for them.
The importance of teamwork, that's a big one, I think, with everything in life. Nothing
Absolutely.
great is done in isolation. So that is wonderful. And obviously you survived it, whereas so many people didn't survive.
Well,
that period.
there's a lot of problems with that. They've just had the Royal Commission for Military Suicide just finished, and over something like the last 20 years, they've had over 1,600 men and women from the services take their own lives, and
Wow.
it's a shocking thing. It's a lot more than the average in civilian life.
Mm.
So it is a problem when you've got heavy operations on, as we've had in Australia. And so hopefully the public can get on board with that as well, and support everybody who's been serving the country.
Yeah, absolutely. And we thank all our service people we've had over the years. It takes a lot to fight for your country, and
Service.
so, yeah, it's service. And we're very grateful for the freedoms that we have today, thanks to the service of
So
people
am I.
people like yourself. And it's interesting you're talking about freedom. How important do you think it is now, with the whole idea of freedom, especially since COVID and with what we've seen the last 5 years? How important is it now to have freedom or create freedom in your life?
Well, I was reading not so long ago an excerpt from the book from Bonnie Ward, who worked in palliative care for over 12 years, and she's written an article just recently to summarise this and called the regret of dying, and there's five main things that people say in palliative care on their way to passing away. The one that stands out most is that they wish they had the courage to live their own lives and not the lives of others. And that's exactly my be in charge of yourself message. So it's really a lot of synergy there. And so it's the message is for, from teens right through to the grave. It's a universal, very profound message. And I've basically been living it for decades now. So I'm in a really good position to be able to share that message because I've got a big passion for it. People along those lines, and everyone, even if you did a bit of it, you'd be far better off than yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. It's extraordinary. You think about a third of people die by the age of 65 and 90% of people die with regrets. And it is because most of them haven't lived a life true to themselves. So I love what you're standing for. And in fact, I have a book I'm doing at the moment called Fear to Freedom, Conscious Creators Manifesting Magic with Leanne Clune. We've got 11 co-authors in this. So we are an absolute stand for freedom. And it is an inside job, and it is about taking charge of yourself. It's about taking 100% responsibility for your life. And, it might be easier said than done for some people because a lot of people love to blame, don't they? They love to blame others for their situation. So what do you say to the people who love to blame, who love to be the victim?
You can try this out on your friends and get them to put down everything that's at fault in their life and who's to blame for it. And typically you won't find their own name on the list.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a problem, right? Because so if I was going to blame anybody, I'd put my own name on the top of that list if I had one. I don't have one. I don't blame anyone. I don't even blame myself because that's the wrong direction on the path. But if you're going to blame someone, put your own name there and then work out from there. But people feel that, and it's because they feel they don't have a choice. Oh, it's my family, or it's the boss, or the social environment. And these days with social media, it's very, very problematic, especially for young people, when they feel they got to fit in, and they take a lot of abuse because of it, which leads to mental issues, sorts of things these days. In the current thing, it's people say it's the information age. I call it the information bombardment age. It's very, very difficult certainly for younger people as well, to choose their path and work. They've got so much choice as well that it's very difficult, and they're being sniped at along the way by all and sundry. So when you're in charge of yourself, none of that matters.
Yes.
You're your own life's pilot, and you're flying your own plane.
Yes.
In a sense, so it's a brilliant thing, and it sets people free. It's enlightenment in the Buddhist way.
Yes, it does set people free. And you've given some great strategies there. Any other tips you give people about how to learn to take charge of themselves and to have more freedom in their life?
Well, I would think that it's a very simple. Each of these things are very simple, but to put them all together and keep on doing them, it's hard to do. You basically got to get yourself where you form a habit of doing good little things. Work on the little things, and the big things will happen. I'll follow. But the main thing is to get started. It's a bit like, when's the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago or now?
Yes.
So start planting and get on with it, because every little bit of momentum helps. And you learn by doing things. And of course, we learn by not achieving things we want to, rather than achieving things we want to, in a sense. So we learn from mistakes. So get at it. Someone said that, if you want to have lots of success, fail more.
Yes.
So you can learn.
Yeah.
My favourite quote is "Every day's a school day." So I like being a sponge, not a rock, in the Zen formation.
Yes, beautiful. And we are doing a photo shoot today, and you've been stepping out of your comfort zone a little bit with the photo shoot. How are you finding the experience today, getting your photos done?
Oh, well, it's good, and it's a necessary thing, because it's one thing. A lot of people think knowledge is power, and applied knowledge is power. Actually, it's not.
Yes.
So, me to apply that knowledge that I've got, I need to get out there in the marketplace and have the good target audiences to impart my message. And photo shoot's a big part of that. You've got to be able to get out there and show people who you are and what you stand for and what you're passionate about.
Yes, and show them what you look like now, not 20 years ago, right?
Although, inside I look exactly the same as I was when I was a teenager. I call myself a mature age teenager.
Yeah.
Because I'm full of go and get into it, and even at this age. So I've done a lot of things, and I'm not about to stop.
Yeah, good on you, Robert. That's awesome. And it's been great to reconnect with you after all these
absolutely.
years through Speakers Institute, actually. So thanks to Speakers Institute for bringing us together. And if people want to book you for speaking, where can they go?
Well, I haven't finalised all my contact details yet, but certainly on Facebook, under Robert Kilsby, I'm the one with the red racing suit on there, and also through LinkedIn. I've got quite a number of connections on LinkedIn. They're my two sort of social media platforms, and also on my website, which is veteransinmotorsport.au, and my phone number's in there as well. So give me a call.
Awesome. And what are you doing nowadays with the motorsport?
Well, we're working up to we're in partnership with the psychology department of the University of Queensland.
Ah.
And in fact, next week they're giving us a full presentation of their literary review for this sort of extreme sport, how it helps veterans recover from their ailments. And so that's great. And so they're going to do a full sort of report and everything. Lots of writing going on with the department there, and we're doing that at the start of that next week. We've got 2 tarmac rallies to do in Victoria later in the year, in September and October. So anyone who's listening here who's a veteran, make sure you get in touch with me, because we're looking to take crews away on that, veteran crews on those tarmac rallies down in Victoria in September and October, and that'll be tremendous fun. And it's so beneficial to the veterans when they get back in the pursuit of excellence business, working in small teams with great like-minded people around them. It really helps them incredibly. So that's what we're doing with that.
That's great.
And it's fully funded for the veterans. So I spend a fair bit of my time talking to corporate and other people about sponsorship to help the veterans. So we're in the business of gathering and securing funds to run these sort of programs.
It's wonderful and would be so good for their mental health.
Oh, absolutely. It's an absolute pearler.
Yeah, fantastic work, Robert. Anything else you want to share today?
Oh no, but I'm full of beans, and I'm having a crack at it. And I'll be doing that till I fall off the perch, as I say.
Yeah.
So unless you're a Buddhist, you only get once, so you got to fill it up, right?
Yes. Thank you, Robert. You're amazing. Make sure you check out Robert Kilsby on Facebook. Check out his websites he mentioned as well. A fantastic guy. What an amazing cause as well, what he's up to with helping the veterans with mountain road racing. Well done, Robert. And we will see you later. We're going to carry on with our photo shoot now. Have a beautiful day and let's stay connected. You'll find all my links at linktree/Aldwin, which you'll see in my bio. Have a beautiful day. Bye.